Hey, I'm here with Ron DeLauder, member of Recruitemy. Ron, how you doing?
Great.
Good to see you. Ron,
Thanks.
really excited about the results that you have seen so far with Recruitemy, and I'd like to come on here and have you talk about that and share with the audience. For anyone out there that's thinking about starting a recruiting business, this would really help them. So let's
Mhm.
start with, what were you doing before you found Recruitemy, and what brought you to Recruitemy?
I was actually a few years ago, I was in the recruiting business, attempting to build an office and using, in my opinion, a bit of an antiquated approach. And so it really got to the point where I was a little bit burned out. So I took a little sabbatical and went and worked with my brother for a few years, believe it or not, selling RVs. And then I decided to come back to this, and in particular, because it looked like there were some new technologies or some new methodologies, things that were more modern than the 80 calls a day that I had grown accustomed to in a role previously. And so that really intrigued me. And I don't know, just a smarter way of doing this is the way I looked at it. You can't take it completely away from being on the phone a certain amount of the time, but certainly you can moderate that with some of the approaches that I've been exposed to.
That's awesome. And you live in Texas, right?
I'm a little bit north of Fort Worth. That's right.
Awesome. Awesome. And maybe share with us, what recruiting niche did you decide to really pursue?
I recruit in the financial technology space, and it's a really broad space, but I came out of a background. I was at American Express for 25 years in the payments industry, which is part of financial technology. So that kind of informed my decision to on which way to go. I feel like it helped me to be able to speak the language of my potential clients and candidates, and gave me a little more credibility if I might not have been in the industry.
Yeah. So I know you've been with us for a few months now. Recently, I guess a few weeks ago, you had sent me a message about connecting with a new company through the efforts of our marketing system. Can you talk about that? What derived from that?
I put together the sequence, we call it, that, and I fed that sequence with CEO contacts primarily. And one of the contacts just happened to hit one of the connection points. I'm not sure if it was an email or a connection request. At any rate, the client, if you will, told me that he said he was just thinking about how he's going to go about doing this, and he noticed, my contact information come in the email. And he said, I believe in, serendipity and those sorts of things. And come to find out, it's a fairly nice size CRO sales VP position, and it just so happened that my first placeable candidate that I put together for marketing happens to be a match for it. And the guy said, yeah, we'd like to interview him. And it was just, it really surprised me that it came so easily. And we're working out the logistics of getting the meeting and that sort of thing, but it really surprised me. And then the second one that I was able to obtain was from a previous customer. And sometimes it's the things that are right in the front of your face. And I've received some a little bit of coaching from you, Russ, that said, look, why are we just avoiding those? And sometimes whenever you're in this, you need some reassurance that you're doing the right thing, because many of us are out here as solo entrepreneurs, and we're making decisions in the absence of a lot of extra eyes on it, if you will. Russ has been very helpful, and Mary has been very helpful in answering little, I call them dumb operational questions, but it's things that help me avoid having to do trial and error, which is very expensive to a solo entrepreneur.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head, because really we're all solopreneurs, most of us working out of our homes. And it can get lonely, and sometimes you might feel like you're working out on an island by yourself. And
Right.
when I started Recruiting Me a few years back, I didn't realize like the sense of community that it was going to create. I've got over 80 members now that are collaborating during the day through our membership site. You always attend our weekly mastermind huddles, our member only calls, and thank you for doing that. And I love how you participate and contribute. I don't know, can you speak to that? Do you feel like you really have a sense of community here?
I look forward to it every week, and it is very comforting to hear, particularly whenever other people talk about some of their daily challenges. It makes you feel a little bit less like you're by yourself. I've with the call with Mary this past week, I wrote down 5 things that were useful to me, just tips, and it's things that, and she's not been in the business that long in particular, and it's a sharing of information, and sometimes you just pick up little things. It's just like the tapes of the weekly calls. I went back and started listening to those, and there's enough value in the weekly call tapes. There's 20 of them. I haven't been able to through them all. And there's enough there to provide enough, in my opinion, I joked with you, when you sell the subscription, there's enough there to support that.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, I really enjoy working with you, Ron, members like you, because you're dedicated to your business. You're obsessed with it. I give you the blueprint. I tell you exactly what needs to be done. You do the work. You ask great questions. You show up. And it's no surprise to me that you're getting results, that you're getting messages back from companies, from hiring managers, you're getting requisitions. So I thank you for that. I really do. It makes my job a whole lot easier, more fun. I love helping people, especially
You're
when
welcome.
I have someone like you who works their tail off and really was really trying to be successful.
Oh, you're very welcome, Russ.
Yeah. Is there anything else you want to add to the person that's watching this video that may be a little fearful about making the leap? Maybe they're working a 9 to 5. Maybe they're just like looking for something else to do to escape corporate America. And it's always been a dream to start their own company, their own recruiting business. What would you tell that person?
I would say, candidly, have enough reserves to where you don't have to worry about if you make a placement every right away, because that will add stress to your, if you start out saying, hey, I need to make 10 grand a month, and in the first month you don't achieve that, you immediately start getting the negative talk and feeling, is this really a good decision? And I was in it for 5 years before, but it was almost like starting new. And it's been a couple of months for me, but once you get in there and you start generating leads and conversations, it comes around. But if you don't have the financial pressure of having to produce income every month, it allows you to look at the deals and the conversations differently. And you don't take things that are marginal. You look at things a little bit differently, opportunities differently, and you say, hey, that's worth working on. It may take me 6 weeks or may take me a couple of months, but you don't try to force marginal opportunities. My brother and I used to call them the dead files. You sweep them off your desk and keep moving.
Yeah.
Um, but that's one piece of advice I would give is have financial resources so that you don't have to worry about the pressure of making a deal.
I agree. I think that's a great point. And it's genuine, it's transparent for people watching. Starting and growing a recruiting company is not easy. It takes time. I tell everyone that I talk to every day of the week on my sales calls, hey, every bit of 3 to 4 months. That's what it takes. It's gonna take hard work on your side. This is not a lottery ticket mentality. No one's gonna do the work for you. So I'm so happy you said that. And yeah, Ron, can't thank you enough for showing up, for being there, for getting things done. Greatly appreciate it.
Oh, you're quite welcome, Russ. Thank you.
Thank you.